On the screen now was an image of a fishing boat plowing through the huge waves. The wind was strong, the sea was rough, but the boat still headed towards the distant sea where the fish were predicted to move. Below the surface, thousands of small fish formed dense schools, but the predators had also appeared, sharks circling, preparing for a big hunt. Meanwhile, on the fishing boats, fishermen are preparing their fishing gear. Nets are lowered, stretched along the waves. Everyone coordinates well to start a long working day in the middle of the ocean. This is a real-life narrative journey about fishing from the time they set sail until the fish are sorted, preserved and brought to shore. A closed cycle, taking place every day on the open sea. At this time, the fish are being sucked up from the net compartment by an automatic pipe system. Each fish slides down the slippery stainless steel conveyor belt, falling into the tank below. Workers in orange protective suits move quickly, ensuring that all operations take place smoothly. No fish is crushed or lost. This is the primary processing stage right on the boat, ensuring that the fish retains its freshness before entering the cold storage. The sea ahead was rolling and rough. The boat was floating in the high waves, the sunlight reflecting off the water making it look silver. There was no land in sight, just sky, water and a howling wind. This was the challenge that any offshore fishing trip had to face. Nature was both majestic and harsh. The seafarers were not just fishermen, they were also brave and steadfast sailors in the open sea. When the sea is calmer, it is time to cast the net. The fishermen divide the work, some check the line, some adjust the buoy, some watch the wave direction to ensure the net is cast correctly. Each action has become a habit. They understand the sea, understand the fish, and understand their own tools. Just a small mistake can cause the net to tangle or break, meaning a whole day's work is lost. Therefore, this stage requires close coordination and absolute precision. After hours of drifting and watching, the signal from the surface suggested that the school of fish might have been gathered. The order was given: retrieve the net. The fishermen quickly got into position. Some held the line, others operated the winch. The machine began to roar, pulling meter after meter of wet rope from the depths of the sea. Tension builds with each spin. Everyone now watches the net as it rises into the water. Finally, the net emerges bulging, heavy, and silvery with thousands of fish. All the hard work, waiting, and technique are now paying off with a promising catch. The nets were now close to the side of the boat, full and heavy. The men, bare-handed and bare-footed, stood on deck, ready for the most important moment: unloading the fish. A sharp pull, the rope was released, and immediately, hundreds of kilos of fish poured onto the deck. Silver-bodied fish, striped fish, shrimp, crabs, mingled together in a chaotic mass of movement, splashing water. The sound of splashing fish, cheers, and running footsteps echoed throughout the ship's hold. This was the result of many hours of drifting, working tirelessly in the open sea. A bumper catch of fish, bringing with it the hope of a full meal for the entire ship. Large plastic baskets to scoop up batches of fish and quickly transfer them into the ship's hold. Interspersed between layers of fish are ice cubes, ensuring the fish stays fresh until they reach shore. The hundreds of meters long red net was slowly lowered into the sea through a chute, following the stern of the ship as it cut through the waves. The fishermen, wearing protective gear, kept their positions, checking each strand of the net and each buoy. Once the net had covered the target area, the team switched to harvesting mode. Under the sunset light, the net was pulled back up by a steel pulley, vibrating gently to the rhythm of the camera. A seemingly easy step, but it requires experience and precise coordination down to the second, because any mistake can make the whole catch meaningless. As the pump started, tons of fish began to be sucked forcefully into the pipe, sliding through the flexible hose and straight into the ship's internal storage compartment. Suck fish into the boat. The ship's bow turned toward land, marking the end of a day at sea. On the deck of the blue ship in the middle of the ocean, each rope, each large piece of net is pulled out, gradually spread out on the water surface. The net is released in an arc, covering the area where they believe the fish are moving below. Without the support of machines, every step is done by hand, with experience accumulated from year to year, where each mesh carries the hope of a big catch. As night falls, the ship continues its journey. In the dark sea, the small lights emitted from the signal buoys are the eyes guiding the entire net dropping process. Fishermen work in the dark. Each rope in each section of net is dropped with high precision. There is no room for error, even at night. Simple meals are prepared right on the deck. Under the light of the headlights, the blue net covered the deck like a giant carpet dyed with the smell of salty sea and fresh fish. Suddenly a shout rang out, "Big fish!" 3 people rushed forward, holding a heavy fish that was struggling strongly in the net. Without using any machinery, they had to use their strength and coordination to bring the fish to safety. Each fish caught at this time was not only an achievement, but also a testament to the perseverance of the fishermen working tirelessly in the dark, in the middle of the vast ocean. And here was the reward after hours of struggling with the wind and waves and the heavy net. A large fish, long and shiny silver, lifted into the darkness. The fisherman held the fish in his arms, the light shining on each scale making it sparkle like a mirror. It was an indescribable moment, both proud and relieved. And here was the reward after hours of struggling with the wind and waves and the heavy net. A large fish, long and shiny silver, lifted into the darkness. The fisherman holds the fish in his arms. The light shines on each scale making it sparkle like a mirror. It was an indescribable moment, both proud and relieved. In the harsh light of the night, the fisherman stood up straight, holding the big fish in his hands like a warrior who had just won a trophy. This is the king mackerel, a valuable fish with a long body, bright scales, and firm muscles. Each fish like this is a reward that the sea gives to those who do not give up. Under the deck, a series of large fish were neatly arranged, their metallic shine like silver swords, the clearest evidence of a successful trip. No words needed, just the eyes of the fisherman enough to understand the pride, satisfaction, and love of the profession that has flowed in the blood of the people of the sea for a long time. Starting a new day at sea, the crewman dons his heavy protective suit soaked with sweat, grease, and the struggle with the sea breeze. Outside, the deck tilts gently towards the open sea. The deep blue water and the echo of the ship's propellers evoke a feeling of both excitement and caution. Behind the stern, the giant fishing equipment system begins to move. Large nets are prepared to be dropped. Mechanical parts operate in unison with absolute precision. Fishing gear is no longer simple ropes, but a carefully calculated system of ropes, buoys, and steel beams ready to collect a large catch from the ocean floor. After several hours of operation, the giant fishing net system begins to be retracted. From the back of the ship, to stabilizers support the sides, keeping the entire operation balanced as the net bag is pulled out of the water. Each heavy net is rolled up, gradually drawn back to the deck via a system of pulleys and winches. Inside, tons of fish are piled up in bulging sections, a huge mass waiting to be processed. When the net is completely pulled up on the deck, it is neatly stowed away. On the rocky and rough sea near the shore, small wooden boats begin their journey through the waves. Every wave is a challenge. Sometimes the hull is almost swallowed by the white water. Sometimes the whole boat bounces off the surface of the waves like an arrow, but for them, it is not an adventure, it is everyday life. They were born in the sea, grew up in the waves, and are attached to this profession like a thread of fate. When the last wave is left behind, the ocean opens up before your eyes. The journey to make a living begins again from the most difficult place. In the midst of that seemingly peaceful space, on the other side of the ship, a group of people had begun to untangle and prepare the nets. Their hands moved quickly, each meter of net was straightened and carefully checked. In the cabin, the train driver watched every movement closely. Through the glass window, the crew members were seen spreading ropes and inserting buoys. Each step shows the rhythm of a long-standing team. As the sky turns dark, yellow lights shine on the deck. A newly harvested catch is brought in. The tuna are firm and heavy, removed from the net and transferred to the back of the ship. Each person gives the fish to the person in charge of the ship's hold and puts them in the well-marked rocks, and then the 2 people close the ship's hold. After being pulled from the hold, the fish are dumped onto the deck. The fishermen quickly sort the fish by size and type. Some fish selected for export or high-price sales are processed separately. Next, the fish are taken to the pre-processing area. Here, the fish are neatly arranged in stainless steel trays, preparing for the next steps such as cleaning, freezing, or transferring to cold storage. Each operation is carried out quickly and neatly to ensure the freshness and quality of the product before it is docked or brought to the processing plant. The room temperature is kept very low, usually below 40 C, which helps the fish freeze quickly and retain its freshness for a long time. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel to support us. See you next video.